Hi everybody, and welcome back to Meals with Marathon Mom. I'm your host, Charmaine B-Dunn-Meals. I hope you and your family enjoyed the smoked salmon and wild rice salad and your skin's glowing from the omega-3s. Now, today we are going to be making my Marathon Mom muesli, and what is so great about this recipe is come March break, everybody's so busy, and often kids want to run out with their friends before they even have something in their tummy, but we all know that breakfast is the most important meal of the day. So I'm going to show you how to make my Marathon Mom muesli, and what's so awesome about this recipe is it has oats, which are a pantry staple ingredient. They're inexpensive, and they're a carbohydrate that keeps you feeling full long. Those slow releasing carbohydrates are exactly what you want in your kids' tummies, especially when they're out playing with their friends all day. Another really awesome ingredient that I love about this recipe is it has chopped dried black mission figs. And what I love about black mission figs is they're not only high in fiber, but they're high in calcium. So what we're going to need for this recipe is 1 cup of oatmeal, our chopped dried black mission figs, and if you didn't like figs or you didn't have them in your pantry, again, you could certainly use raisins, chopped dried pear, dried cranberries, any dried fruit will work, some cinnamon to add a punch of really lovely flavor, some chopped fresh pear. And what I love about pear is it's high in folate, so perhaps if you are expecting, this might be the type of fruit that you want to munch on. We've got some chopped fresh apple, because all kids love apples, and we've got some vanilla that's going to add a great flavor to this muesli, a couple tablespoons of Canadian maple syrup, some orange juice, and some orange zest as well, and I'll get to exactly what orange zest is in just a moment. And we've got some milk and plain yogurt. But if you didn't do dairy or you didn't like milk, you could certainly use almond milk or rice milk, and you could actually make this recipe without the yogurt, or you could find a vegan source of yogurt as well. So let's get cooking. So we've got our 1 cup of oats, and then we're just going to add in our chopped black mission figs. And again, what I love about the figs is they're high in calcium. So if your kids don't do dairy, this is a really good way to get calcium in to their little bodies. And some cinnamon to add a nice punch of flavor. And then let's mix the wet ingredients. So we've got 1 cup of milk and 1 cup of plain yogurt. So we are going to add our vanilla, which smells delicious and is just going to bring this whole dish together, and our Canadian maple syrup. So as you notice, there's actually no sugar in this recipe. We're getting all our sweetness from the maple syrup and orange juice. Orange juice is something else most of us already have in our refrigerator. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to grate some orange zest. So here is orange and here is the zest, and we're just going to use a grater, and I like to grate my orange zest on the finest part of the grater. You can buy something called a rasp, which is really popular in a lot of high-end kitchen stores, but it's not really necessary. It's pretty popular on all the fancy cooking shows, but to be quite truthful, I'm quite happy with my box grater. So you just want to lightly press your orange against the smallest grate of the grater until you have about 1 teaspoon of grated orange zest. And there you go. And just, oh, I wish you could smell this. The flavor and the smell of this, it's just, the whole room smells like fresh oranges. It is just amazing. So we'll put our orange aside. We've got that. We're going to pour our wet mixture over our dry mixture, just like so. And again, if you notice, what I love about this recipe, and is so amazing for kids to do, is that there's absolutely no cooking. You know, if you get your kids involved in the kitchen, they're gonna enjoy eating healthy foods. So we're gonna stir it all together just like this. And then we are going to add in our chopped fresh pear and our chopped fresh apple. And again, if you didn't like these fruits, you could certainly use, berries, you could use some bananas. Again, the possibilities are just endless. So what you want to do at this point is you want to cover it up and you want to pop it in the fridge, and you want to let it sit for at least 4 hours or overnight, because it's all going to plump up and those flavors are just going to come together and make a delicious breakfast. So we're going to cover it up, pop it in the fridge, and we'll see you back in a second. So there you have it, Marathon Mom's Muesli. And make sure you go to marathonmom.ca for this tasty recipe. Now make sure you stay tuned for next week when I show you how to save time, money, and calories when you're at the chalet with your kids after a long day of skiing. From my happy, healthy kitchen to yours, thank you for cooking with Marathon Mom.